In this video, we're going to try to install Lejos on an older NXT model robot. We are on a fairly recent version of OS X. This is Yosemite. Basically, you want to get here, lejos.org, lejos.org. If we click on the NXT, here's the stuff about it. We can see on the left side we've got this menu, including a tutorial. This tutorial has a number of things: introduction, getting started, writing your first Lejos NXJ program. So a couple things that might be useful. Getting started is the most useful. You can read about it if you want, but getting started is what you need to install. I'm on OS X, so that's what I'm doing, obviously. If you're not on OS X, then this video probably won't help you a whole lot, but you can check out the instructions for Linux or Windows from here as well. So first things first, the Java development kit. We need either 1.5 or 1.6. Anything newer doesn't work. Now if we launch our terminal, we do have some sort of Java on here already, and it says that we have the SE runtime environment 1.6. So that's nice. But if we go back to the website, it didn't say SE, it said JDK. So is that the same thing? It's not. Does that mean that we don't have the JDK on here? Maybe. I've heard a variety of different answers. I've seen a variety of different answers when looking it up. And really, I think the best way to make sure that you really have what you need is to just go download it. So, new window. We'll do Java, actually, you know what? We'll do JDK for Mac 1.6. We can see a couple different things. We can see the Oracle page here, but you're not going to find what you're looking for. We've got some people that have asked questions. Basically, you're going to get directed to here, and this is fine. If you don't want to go hunting, here's the URL up here, and we can download it. And in a moment it should finish, and then we can run it, which I've downloaded this before to make sure that I was going to the right place. And Java for OS X, and we can click through here, etc., etc., all the stuff nobody reads. And depending on how your computer is set up, you might need to authorize it. And supposedly Java is set up now, so that's cool. Now the next thing is we need the special Lego NXTG driver thingy, right? So if you've installed the Lego Mindstorm software on your machine, you already have it. Now if you have Yosemite like I do, you can't install the NXTG software anyway because it's too old and Lego's not making newer versions for it because they've phased out the NXT. If you're using the EV3 software, that might have the driver in there. It probably does, actually, because you can program the NXTG with the EV3. But if you don't, you need this driver. So they've got the nice little link here. So the easiest way, I'm just going to do Command F for find, and I'm going to type in Fantom, but that's Fantom with an F. And it didn't find it. This was not helpful. Let's try Google. Lego Fantom driver. So downloads page, Command F again. It has found Fantom. There it is. So we need to download this. There we go. Open that up. The computer says it doesn't recognize this developer, so it wants me to right click and tell it to open instead. And then we can just click through. More stuff that nobody reads. Authorization. And we wait. Alright. So we can close that. And now, I'm not going to bother with Bluetooth. If you want to, I guess you can look into that, but I'm not doing that. So the next thing is we need to install Lejos. So we can go to the NXJ download page, which is here, but it was also on this page here on the left side, download, so it doesn't really matter which link you follow, it's the same link. So we can go to SourceForge and download whatever the most current version is. It's been a little while since they've updated. And download the appropriate one. If you're on a Mac like I am, which you probably are if you're watching this, then download the .tar.gz file. And it'll do its thing, and you have advertisements that you should avoid clicking. If it doesn't start downloading, then hit the link. So we can close that now. Oh, I lost the tutorial page. That's okay, I can go back to a tutorial, getting started, Mac OS X. I've got my tar file here. So if I click on it, it should unzip. There we go. And now I have, there it is. And this might be called something different for you, just depending on which version you have. But you don't want it to be called this whole long. That'll require a bit more work when you're actually using it. So if we just shorten this down to Lejos_NXJ, that's a bit easier. Now this isn't where this goes, this is just where it is right now, in my downloads folder. Instead, what I need to do, I need to go to my desktop and go to my Macintosh HD, go to my users area, and you might have more or less folders than me, it just depends on how many people have accounts on this computer. This is a shared computer, so it has quite a few users. The one that is the house is your account, so that's where it needs to go. So I'll drag it into there. And if I open this, we should be good. That should be fine. So now what we need to do, we've officially installed Lejos. Now we need to set up the environment variables. This is pretty easy. It's not hard. You just need to make sure that you're paying attention. So we have these three things that we need to copy and paste into the terminal. So here's my terminal, and I need this, but this is the location of that folder that I just put in there. Notice Lejos_NXJ, that's the same thing that we renamed that folder to, but the part we need to change is right here. So it's not me, it's whatever your home folder is. So type that in. If you press enter, nothing should happen. That's just what terminal does. If nothing happens, there was no problem, usually. Then we have this command. This should work, but it's not a bad idea to make sure. So if we go to our Macintosh HD, we can go to System, and we can just follow this path. So Library, Frameworks, here it is, and we should find Java VM. So if you just hit the letter that you're looking for, so if I hit J, it should jump down to J. So Java Frame Embed, that's not it. Java VM Framework. Right, so those match. I can open that up. I can see versions. I can see 1.6.0. And I can see home. And this is what you should see in there. So that looks good. And so I can go ahead and tell that to execute that command. And then finally, I need this, and this should be fine just the way it is. So that should be good. Now the last thing that you need to do is actually flash your robot's brain. By default, your robot will come with the NXT firmware directly from Lego. We are using custom firmware for this to work, and so we need to flash the robot's brain. Now you can only do this so many times, and your robot still take it, but by so many times it's in like the hundreds, so you shouldn't have to worry about it too much as long as you're not doing this on like a daily basis or something. So to do that, you just type in NXJ flash and you execute, and it should update your robot, in which case when you turn it on, it should sound like that instead of whatever it used to sound like. If you're setting this up on a different computer, or you've re-imaged your machine or something, and you need to do all of this over again, Obviously, you wouldn't do the last part. You wouldn't do the NXJ Flash because yours is already probably in the NXJ firmware, like mine is. Alright, so in this first bit, we have some code here. It says that this should work, that the Lejos NXJ supports the basic print line method. So we're going to go to text edit. We'll copy and paste this in, and hopefully it will be happy. Now the name of this class is Hello World, so I need to make sure I save mine as Hello World. Alright, so we have that. If we go back to the terminal, we can do CD desktop because that's where I saved my file. If you didn't save yours on the desktop, you can go to that directory or just move yours to the desktop and do the same thing. Now we should be able to put in the commands, but we might run into a little bit of issue. Right here it talks about here's how we compile it. So nxjc, and then whatever the name of the file is, which ours is helloworld.java, and command not found. So mine seems to like to do that. If I close the terminal after I've linked the variables, that was the step back here in the tutorial, it seems to forget about it. So it's not a bad idea to bookmark this page or to drop this into a text edit file on your desktop so that way you can easily refer to it. I actually like the idea of having it as a little text edit file on your desktop because then you can already have these changes in there. You don't have to remember to make them each time. So that looked fine. We'll do this. Paste that in as well. And then we'll do this last bit. Alright, so now I should be able to do the nxjc hello world.java. Looks okay. If we go to my desktop, we have hello world.java and we have hello world class, so that's good. Means it should work. If we go back to the tutorial, which really I should just open a new tab, we can see we're not quite done yet. Now we have to link it. So nxj link hello world.nxj and hello world. Alright, so now if we shrink this again, we should have another file. Here it is, hello world.nxj. So this command, this nxjc, made this from that, and then this nxj link made this from that. And now we can actually finally upload and run it onto our robot. So then we need this command here. Now to actually upload it, we need our robot, obviously. We need it on, and we need it connected via USB. So so there you go. I turned mine on. And now I'm going to type in these commands. So I'll go ahead and type this in here. This R is going to make it run automatically. And we're not going to see much, but we should actually cause the robot to start over by running this command. There we go. It says it was successful. You heard the little upload thingy, and it restarted on its own. Now, we told it to do hello world, and instead it restarted. There's a reason for that, but I will get into that into the next video, or two.